You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Guys, so excited to have you guys here with us. And if you're listening to this in real time, it's Friday, which means TGIF, the grind includes Friday. Just having some fun here. No, it means it's the end of the week. A lot of us are wrapping up, maybe doing some lawn care projects or landscaping projects and trying to enjoy the weekend a little bit. Long story short, I just wanted to do a podcast here, and I got to give a big shout out to my boy, Paul Jamison, kind of inspired here with one of the podcasts that he put out this week, and it was talking about his worst lawn care customer experience, and it was the one where he basically, I'm not going to tell the whole story because I'm not going to give it away, but Paul was a newbie in business. He had a buddy that was helping him out. Paul was still running his lawn care business and working part-time as a server, nights and weekends, hustling doing that. And anyway, he did a job, put a ladder through a window, and the mayhem ensued from there. But anyway, it was a really fun podcast. It was totally different. And, it got me thinking, man, I've had some crazy customer stories too. I have had 14 years running my lawn and landscape business. I've had people swear at me, curse me out, cuss me out. I've got my truck stuck, mower stuck, things just a lot of bad days. So it's always funny. Just to be honest with you guys, you watch YouTube and you watch my videos, and the last 3 years, our business is growing, and things are succeeding, and we're making money, and blah, blah, blah. You guys have heard this. Cool. Awesome. Good for me. Whatever. Who cares? But the funny thing is, that's not how it started. And I always say, there was 10, 12 years of try, fail, adjust, and just horrible, rotten, no good, very bad days, okay? And it wasn't every single day. But, man, there was a lot of, I don't know what you call them, defining moments or these, critical moments in my career where I was like, I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm out. I don't want to do lawn and landscaping. I don't want to do this business or this industry. And frankly, I've had these conversations 10 years in business. I was already in business for 10 years and had a rotten day. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I had a YouTube channel and I had 1,000, 1,500 subscribers. And I'm like, yep, I'm done. I'm already done with this thing. I'm done with lawn care. I'm done doing YouTube, and I'm, trying to grow a YouTube channel. So anyway, inspired by my friend Paul Jamison, which is, he's got a great podcast, the Green Industry Podcast. If you guys haven't swung over there and checked out some of his episodes, he's got some really, really good interviews and really good content. But I thought I would just do something similar. So I'm not trying to steal Paul's idea. I want to piggyback on his, not the one up either. I'm not that guy. But when Paul was talking about his story, and then it got worse, and then this story got worse, and then what his employee did with the ladder. And I was like, oh my God, what would I do? And I'm thinking to myself, I was trying to predict what I would do based on what Sean would, or not Sean. I just did a podcast with Sean. He'll be up on next week. Hang tight. But what Paul said on his podcast, and I'm thinking to myself, what would I do in that scenario? And I don't know, it just got me thinking. And I remember the property I was on. I was mowing just a few days ago, and I was just laughing and smiling. I'm sure if somebody's looking out the window, they probably see me laughing ridiculously while I'm on the lawnmower. And I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but so I was laughing so hard at this story about Paul, and Paul's just being honest, and he does his his big sigh, and he's like, man, what was I thinking? Well, I've had the exact same scenarios, a lot of same stories. I've got 2 or 3 I wanted to just run here and just keep it light, keep it fun. We're not going to go super long or super deep on this podcast. But before we do, I do want to take a quick second. We do have a show sponsor on this one, and it is one of my companies. It is Launchpreneur Academy. Some of you guys have been checking out the training programs, checking out the commercial contract, the new residential lawn care flyer. It's a $7 editable template that you can download and literally open it up on Mac on Pages, whereas what it was created in natively, or you can go on Google Docs, import the document, open it up, customize it, change 2 things out, your name and your phone number, and literally you have a residential flyer for $7. Maybe you don't have this huge marketing budget for postcards or whatever. No problem. I sold 18 grand in the first 6 weeks of my business when I first got started in the industry with a 10-cent lawn care flyer. Green paper, black ink, super simple, plug and play document. Anyway, it's on the website. But we're going to hear from one of our show sponsors, Launchpreneur Academy, and then we'll get right back into it.
For those of you guys interested in breaking into the snow removal game, this one's for you. Now available exclusively at thelawnpreneuracademy.com. We've got you covered with the How to Get Started Plowing Snow training program. This powerful resource is there to help you guys learn the basics to plowing snow, what to charge, major pitfalls and mistakes to avoid, and so much more. Hands down, one of the most anticipated and helpful training programs we have available. We'll get you up to speed on how to crush it with your snow removal business in no time. Check out the training program today at lawnpreneuracademy.com, because before you know it, we'll be out there plowing that snow and making that dough.
Yeah, buddy. I love it. Well, hey, if you guys haven't went on to lawnpreneuracademy.com, including launchpreneur.com, brand new website, check it out. The snow removal training program. I know it's 94 degrees. I know we're getting heat. And I know if you're in the South or, the plain states, you're like, snow plowing? What is that? Hey, I feel ya. Trust me, knock on wood, you love that, because for all of you guys that mow year round or have 9-10 month seasons, hey, I'll take that too. Up here in the Midwest and the Northeast and Michigan, of course, we get snow. And there's a lot of money to be made in snow. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of money to lose doing snow too. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Snow is a different animal. It's an entirely different animal, entirely different business, entirely different creature than just cutting grass. And I'm not messing around. Like, you can lose a lot of money. I've seen many people go out of business. I've heard many people have frustrations with, I don't have customers that pay, or I don't make money. There's no money in snow. There's no money in salt. Well, not the way you're doing it. And I'm not trying to be tough. I'm just saying I've learned from really good people that have millions of dollars that they do in snow. I've learned from my friend Mike Bedell, who's done hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in snow. And we know how to do it right. We know how to do it profitably. That's inside that training program. You got 4 or 5 different courses in there. Of course, we have a how to plow residential driveways. We have a how to plow commercial driveways. In parking lots, we have an office explainer video. We have an equipment walk around video. There's so much content in there. The office video alone, I think, is like 40 minutes alone. And we talk pricing. We talk pricing, tiers, how we do it, contracts, all this other mess. It's super exciting. And by the way, quick little plug, if you guys want snow plow contracts, check out my friend Mike's debtfreelandscaper.com. Brian's 10, I think, works there to save 10%. And you can get snow plowing contracts. That's literally the contracts I use. I took his, I modified a couple different things, barely, and that's what I use for my residential and commercial contracts. So Brian's 10 saves there, and go check out Bedell's resource. The snow contracts are like $20, guys. Come on. They're awesome. So anyway, launchpreneuracademy.com. Check out the snow program. So many more things coming down the pike. All right, cool deal. One other thing I wanted to talk about here before we jumped into it was a couple new ratings and reviews, and then we'll get right on into it, guys.
Ratings and reviews. Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
All right. Well, cool deal. Well, we had a couple more reviews come in this week, which is super exciting. Hey, if you guys want me to read your guys' reviews, do me a big solid. Leave a 5-star rating and then leave a couple sentence review, and I'd love to highlight it and showcase it on the show once or twice a week. I'm going to rip through these really quick. We got a 5-star from T Squared Lawn Care. Started listening to the podcast from day one, and the content just keeps getting better. So much good info. Keep up the good work. Ethan Jones. Hey, Ethan, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for the rating and the review. Another one came in from Matt Shimizi. Should probably read these before I do them live on the show, right? Absolutely love Brian's podcast. Informative, motivational, and entertaining. Well, you got 2 out of those 3 correct. We are definitely entertaining. We're definitely motivational. Informative, we'll leave that up to the Green Industry Podcast. AJL Garden Services, just simply addictive listening. Listening to the podcast while working here in the UK, and it's giving me that extra little push to be more proactive and getting stuff done. Well, shout out to you, AJL. And then last one we got here is Price TX. He said, love the podcast. Great advice for somebody who's considering a career change in the industry. And I do apologize. We have one last one. Antonio's Lawn Care, also a 5-star. Brian is extremely inspirational. His content is feeding my brain with amazing things. His podcasts make me love mowing and just a regular day go by faster. He's a nice guy, one that would help you guys out with growing your business, some other niceties, and awesome. So Antonio, thank you so much.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
guys, for real, I super appreciate the ratings and reviews. We're just about to crack 500. When we hit 500, I'm going to give away 2 $50 gift cards, and we'll pick a random winner in the comments. I'll try to catch up with you guys. We'll figure it all out. But anyway, let's get into some funny stories. All right, we're going to go quick. I got one where I got stuck in a ditch. A customer that went nuclear on me, the full story, one that I can't put on YouTube, dumped trash in my dump truck. I'll tell you the full one. I did a video on that. We'll give you the full story. And then I got stuck plowing snow. This is the most awful plowing, getting stuck snow story ever. All right, so let's go through these really quick. And again, if you haven't listened to Paul Jamison's podcast on this episode, I forget what episode it was because he's got a lot of episodes, but it was just this week. And God, his story was so funny. And I'm shaking my head, literally mowing grass and laughing. So, all right, so the one where I got stuck in a ditch, this was in 2000 and... gosh, I think it was like 16 or something like that. No, 2014, because 10/18/14 is when I got married. It was October 18th. But that year, my mower got stuck in a ditch, and not any ditch. It got stuck in a field. And you're like, well, what's the big issue here? Okay, so a little bit of context here. I proposed to Liz in January. I literally emptied the bank account, bought a nice ring. You guys, if you've been there, you know how it goes. 6 months salary or 3 months salary or whatever. Well, I dropped a couple bucks on a ring. It was every penny I had. We bought a new car, Liz's Jetta, so I had to put like $1,000 down. And then I was like kind of tapped out between the ring, the car, some other things that happened behind the scenes. Somebody in our family might have owed some money on tickets, which I'm not saying it's me because it's not me, but there's only 2 people in my relationship. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. The whole nother story for a whole nother time, not my story to share. So it was an expensive winter. Okay. And so what happens is we're engaged, we're getting married, we're ready to do the thing. And so we set a date for October. We wanted a fall wedding, and we're going to do it outdoors, which is always a gamble in Michigan. Anyway, what happened was I was tapped out financially. Like I had no money. I might have had a credit card back then, but I didn't have a lot of credit. And basically, like when I say I had no money, I mean I had no money. I mean we might have had $100, $200, $300 in the account. We were living paycheck to paycheck. This is again 10/18/14. Gosh, I feel like I'm getting older like every single day. It's crazy because I am, but. Man, this kid's like the kids right now are like birthed in like 2000, and like I'm like I graduated in 2004. That's always a scary feeling, isn't it, guys? So this was in spring. We had an early spring. It was a very, very wet spring, and I was broke. Like I didn't. Again, this was maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. My business wasn't at all what it was today. I probably had, I don't know, 50, 60, 70,000 out of your business, maybe. I was probably netting 30 grand a year. Okay. It wasn't making a lot of money. And Liz, I don't even know what she was doing. Maybe she was working at Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe she was doing her loan officer. She wasn't a loan officer. She was like helping with loan officer in his office. And we just didn't have a lot of money. We had just moved into our place, and we were living together, and no hokey pokey, just for anybody's asking. And it was just one of those things where we just didn't have a lot of money. We were a young couple getting things going. Well, we wanted to get married quick. 6, 7 months later, we set a date on the calendar, and I was mowing grass. And in that spring, it was extremely wet out, like raining every day. Well, I had this HOA. It was a 7-acre property. I did it for $300. It was wide open, all field, a lot of trimming with rocks along this boulevard. It's over in Heartland, Michigan, and it was $300 a weekly cut. And so back then, it was like, I don't know, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 account. It was a lot of money for me and my business back then. Well, what happened was with all this rain that we got this spring, I didn't also have the money to put on new tires on the zero turn. I don't know if you guys have ever like tried to stretch, the tires a little bit more. You get 300-400 hours out of them, maybe. Well, back then, I had like the middle of the tire was kind of balding, and the 2 edges was they had a little bit of tread left. So I was like, well, if I turn, the tire kind of like kind of flattens out a little bit and kind of grips. So that was like my theory, and I'll just get a couple bucks, a little bit of cash flow coming in, and I'll change those bad boys out in like May or June. No big deal, right? June, July. No, give me an extra month. So I'm mowing grass probably first part of April, and it's raining. It's raining. And in part of this HOA that I managed, the 7 acres, one side was like 4 acres, the other side was 3. And so I'm mowing this 4-acre side, the west side of this property. And when you're street side, when you're at the main boulevard at the entrance of this sub, huge boulevard, guys. I mean, I don't know, a couple 100 feet, huge boulevard, tons of rocks. Well, when you're from curbside, you look out and you can see the divot of the whole 4 acres. It literally looks like a satellite, like if you looked at an in-ground satellite or something like that. I mean, the whole middle was concaved. And as you can imagine, it took on a lot of water. Well, we had I remember these torrential downpour, flooding rains for like 2.5 days. And they went on all weekend, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think even. And I went to go mow this bad boy on a Monday. This story is so bad. I'm thinking, like, I haven't retold this story or lived this story for a while. So I'm over there mowing, right? So I'm mowing the one side. It's on its top side, so it's like, it's no big deal. It's wet, it's soggy, and I'm kind of sloshing the tires a little bit. Well, I go to mow the other side, and I outline the whole property, and I start doing the painting of the stripes on the inside, right? So I've already outlined. I'm back and forth. Well, I started roadside because it was the top, and when you're in the field, though, you can't tell that you're now 10 feet below, all the ridge. You can't tell that it's concaved, convexed, concaved. I don't even know. Okay. I don't have a background in geology or trigonometry or what is all this. So I got this concave thing going on. Well, I'm painting the mower back and forth. And long story short, painting it back and forth, 4 acres of mowing. It's taking me a good hour to do this or whatever. And I get like literally halfway through. I'm in the middle of the middle. And I notice the tires are kind of doing the slosh. You're getting the shimmy. And when you get the shimmy, it's about to go downhill. You got some decisions to make. Well, I was like, you know what? I got to get this job done. I got to mow this. I'm not pushing the route back, blah, blah, blah. Well, I do a pass and I slosh through and mud, goes going everywhere. You're kind of treading water and you just kind of punch through, right? You've been there. So I go all the way down, 200 feet back, 300 feet back. I come back halfway down, do a little slosh, do a little shimmy, and I'm like, get a little bit more wet here in the middle. Well, swear to God, I come back on the third pass. I did the slosh, I did the shimmy, and the mower got stuck. And the wheels just literally bogged out. And what happened was my back wheels had no traction, and I literally started spinning the tires, and it stopped, and then it started to sink. And then what really did me in was the deck bottomed out. And I cut the PTO off really quick, probably scalped the lawn, but the deck bottomed out. And so once the deck bottomed out, because the back tires were already sinking like 3 inches in, I was stuck. So what do? Well, of course, you try not to panic, but you panic. So I'm doing the left, right. I'm trying to slosh this thing around, and I'm just digging a hole. You guys have seen the videos and the photos on Instagram or YouTube. Somebody's spinning up the tires, creating the rooster tail. While I'm sloshing, and it takes about 12 seconds to realize this ain't going anywhere. So I'm like, well, this is exciting. I'm literally probably 200 to 300 feet away from the curb. I'm 200-300 feet away from this whole bowl. Imagine like this bowl. So there's no way to like do a come along. There's no tow strap. There's no ratchet strap. There's no way that I'm going to get this thing out. And I didn't have another mower. I didn't have another piece of equipment. I didn't have 50 friends on Instagram to like DM and say, yo, bro, do you got like a 4-wheeler or another lawnmower? It was just me. And I also didn't have any money. So I'm like, well, what do I do? Well, after realizing, like, I threw a piece of wood in there. I think I grabbed a stick, I grabbed a stick, I threw it underneath. That didn't do anything. This thing is now covered in solid mud. I mean, like a pig bog mud, like the worst you could ever imagine. The rim, the mud is up to the top of the rim. So my tires, these tires are, 10 by 20s, whatever they say, 10 by 24s, 12 by 24s. My tires are 18 inches deep, sunk in mud. Worst case scenario, the deck is bottomed up. The whole deck is lifted up, right? So like the chains are, they have slack in them. Not a good scenario. If you guys are listening to this, maybe you've been there, okay? So what do? I say, well, that's interesting. And I'm already sweating. I'm already panicking. I'm already like, this is going to be interesting. So what do is I go all the way around with my truck. I get my Ford F-150, a little 2x4, was not 4-wheel drive. It weighs, 6,000-7,000 pounds. Ain't no big deal. I got a tow strap because, I'm a entrepreneur. I'm ready to rock and roll. Well, I've got my tow strap, and I take the truck over beautiful, like prairie, manicured grass, super nice. I take the truck all the way around the back side of the bowl. I'm telling the story out loud, and it just makes me like, what was I thinking? So it was so wet that the truck was already kind of like, you can tell when you're like driving over wet mud, grass, and you just hear the water sloshing out from the sides. Well, that should have been my first cue that this might not have gone well. So I take the truck all the way around the perimeter, and I do a little like 16-point turn, whatever I was doing back in the day, so not tear up the grass. And I back up about 100 feet. And as I back up 100 feet, I hook up the tow strap I had like this, yellow thick tow strap, probably 25 feet long, only 25 feet long, mind you. And I hook it up to the ball of the hitch. Had to unhook the trailer, my little utility trailer. So that's just sitting out there, hopefully nobody steals that. And I take the tow strap and I tie it to the corner, of the X mark on the back of the lasers. They have the little hook, the little hole. So I filter it through there, do a little lasso thing or whatever, and then hook it on the ball hitch of the truck. Cool. I'm ready to rock and roll. I didn't release the hydros. The actual hook, by the way, was 10 inches under mud. I mean, literally just the nasty stuff. I'm covered in mud. We didn't have like Cujo shoes and boots. I was wearing some Red Wings back in the day, and I remember them being just caked in mud. Well, I didn't know to release the hydros. I didn't have anybody that could jump on the mower and like try to slosh it backwards or forward with me, so I just tried to rip it out. So many rookie mistakes here. Release the hydros. Little quick pro tip. So what do? I jump back in the truck. I got a 2x4, and as you would imagine, it's already kind of like sinking a little bit. It's getting a little wet, little muddy. Well, I put it in the drive, and I try to pull forward, and immediately the truck like gets jerked. It stopped because this is an anchor. Like this thing is stuck in 12 inches of mud, and I mean the mower is like anchoring the truck. I'm not going anywhere in the truck. So what do I do, or what happens? Well, I'm giving it just a little bit of gas and the tires slip. And just a little bit of the tire slipping, because I'm getting like kind of pulled down, the back end is getting pulled down, it's pulling me into the ground. And just like the barely gassing it, trying to pull this thing out, my tires start to slip, my tires start to rooster tail, and my tires are going down fast in this mud. I mean, I barely even gassed it. I'm already 2 inches in the mud. And I went, oh no, like, oh no, like, this is not good. This is not good at all. And I'm like, I'm going to get my truck stuck. So I unhooked the trailer, the tow strap. I'm like, all right, process one didn't work. Let's just leave the mower there. We'll figure it out. Let me get the truck out. I jump back in the truck. I go forward. And I mean, it was just the most worst case scenario circumstances. I put it in the drive. I like try to creep. I creep of the creep. And no, it's not going anywhere. The truck immediately starts the rooster tail. The front tires are already now sunk 2 inches into the mud, like anchored in there. And the back, it just starts spinning them up. And now I'm like, oh, no. I cannot get the truck stuck. Yep, your boy here got the truck stuck. Literally, my truck, the rear wheels, it was so deep into the mud that I was halfway up the 16-inch tire and rim. So, I mean, the axle is literally sitting on the grass. That's how bad it was. And some of you guys listening to this are like, I've been there. Some of you guys are like, what would I do? Some of you guys are like, how stupid, like this sucks. Yeah, dude, this was so awful. And I remember literally like turning off the truck, you hear the ding, ding, like the chime, and I'm just sitting there like, this really, really, really sucks. So now I went from like a half-hour delay to I'm clearly screwed. So what do you do? I don't know what you do. So what did I do? Well, the HOA president, I swear to God, is the first house. His backyard backs up to the back field. I'm not making this stuff up. I go, well, let's go talk to, I think his name was Bert or something like that, like for real. So I go up there and I knock on his door, and he's home because he's like this old retired guy, and he's got this ball. It's one of those things, dude. Of course, he's home. He's got this like baller Chevy 1500 back in the day, like the the terrain one, the cool like ridge one, whatever it's called. It's all blacked out or whatever. He's got a little 5.0 Mustang. He's like putting the turtle wax on, literally. And I'm like, he's just buffing it out. And he goes, hey, what's up, Brian? I go, hey, what's up, Bert? Hey, so little situation here. Got the mower stuck. He's like, oh, that's unfortunate. Do you got a tow strap? I go, yeah, so about that. He goes, what? I go, I got the truck stuck. He goes, you got the truck stuck? And I go, yeah. Anyway, so here's what happens. He comes walking all the way down. This is, 400 or 500 feet away, walking back and forth, and he goes, you really got the truck stuck. I go, I really got the truck stuck. So what happened is, long story short, he honestly, he kind of bailed on me. He's like, I don't know what to do to help you. I'm not taking my truck back there. And what happened was, again, I'm in the middle of the bowl. So from the whole ridge, it's just soaking saturated water. So I literally called up a tow truck company, and I explained my whole situation. The guy's like, well, okay, I can be there in an hour. I remember calling Liz, and Liz remembers this story because I was crying. I'm telling you guys, I was like, but I didn't know what to do. I was like, I got a wedding coming up. I got to come up with 20 grand or whatever. We knew it was coming. I got to make money. I have no money. I don't even think I had $100 or $200 in my business checking account. We had no money. And I was like, for real, the lowest I've ever probably been financially and just in my business career. And so what happened was I called a tow truck guy. He's like, I can be there in an hour. He goes, hey, we take cash or credit. He goes, if you get it towed, it's going to be $250. But if you pay cash, I'll do it for $125. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a deal of a lifetime when you're broke. But I literally was like, I don't even have $125. Literally, if I did that, Liz and I were not eating or buying gas for the rest of the week. One of those deals. This is 7 years ago now, 6-7 years ago. And so what happened was, tow truck guy gets there and he goes, man, you're in a pickle. I go, yeah, tell me something I don't know. Okay, thanks, bro. Can you help me get this out? So he brought this old square body dually diesel, old tow wrecker, wrecker kind of a truck. And he comes all the way around the concave of the bowl on the far side. And what he did is he pulled the cable all the way out, hooks it to the truck. Long story short, pulls the truck out, just through the power of the winch, which was cool. I didn't have to turn on the tires of the truck, thank God. Put it in the neutral. He gets me all the way to the ridge. I take it all the way back to the curb. It's caked in mud. I spent $25 at a coin wash. And this is back when $1 would get you 3 minutes on the coin wash. It's not like today where $1 gets you 30 cents on the coin wash, right? This is 6-7 years ago. And I sprayed and sprayed and sprayed and sprayed and sprayed that thing down. It was crazy. And the mower. Well, then he does the same thing for the mower. Pulls the whole cable out, 200 feet. And pulls the mower out. It's so caked. It's so bad. You could just imagine a week later, I come back to the property after I ended up finishing it that day. And you see the zigzag lines. They were so bad. The dark, wavy. You guys have been there. You guys have cut saturated grass. It was just a rookie mistake. I should have took an extra 3 or 4 days or at least 48 hours and let the whole thing dry out. Anyway, I get back to curbside. I'm done with the mower. The mower's unstuck. The truck is unstuck. I'm hooking everything back up. I'm so deflated. Bert drives by with his Silverado and he waves and he goes, "You all set?" I go, "I'm all set." He goes, he just looks at me and I knew I was going to lose the account. I knew I just renewed, and actually that was my last year with the account, and they were morons anyway. I later came to not like the account at all because they were the always trying to get more out of you kind of people, HOA. You guys don't have those at all, right? So anyway, I go to square up with the wrecker guy, right? And, young cowboy kid jumps out. He's 25. He's like, all right, dude. He goes, well, that'll be $325. I go, $325? You told me it'd be $250 credit or $125 cash. He goes, yeah. He goes, that's for a base tow. I go, okay, well, what did you just do? He goes, well, how we factor it is every foot that we pull the cable out is $1. So I pulled it out 200 feet. You owe $200 additional dollars or whatever. And it was for real, $350, $375. I go, dude, I don't even have $125. Now you're telling me I owe $375. I go, are you the repo guy? What are you talking about? And he goes, that's the price. He goes, you want to go put it back? That was his attitude. And I go, and I literally called Liz. I said, give me 5 minutes, bro. I call Liz crying. Sobbing, crying, I'm a loser. I'm 30 years old. I just proposed to this girl. Hey, I'm going to slay the world. I'm going to take you to the nicest places. I'm going to buy you a nice house. We're going to buy property one day, right? The whole deal. I will tell you, if you guys ever feel deflated or a loser, I know how it feels. I've been there, dude. Like, I was so upset. I literally think we used my mom's credit card, believe it or not, to put the $350 charge on there because, dude, we just did not have it. We just didn't have it. And I call my mom, hey, like kind of in a pickle. And she's like, well, what's happening? And I'm trying to explain the story. She's like, you got the mower stock where? I'm like, look, I don't have time for this. I need a spot. And like, we've had no money. Like, nobody's ever given us a dime or a thing. But guys, I was like broke. I was so flatline, redlined. So what happened is, this is just like a cool story about positivity too, because I was so upset, so deflated. He goes, all right, well, $350 on the card. I go, yeah, it's these numbers and whatever. So he leaves. I think I finished mowing like the field the next day. I think I took the rest of the day off. I was literally about to quit. Like, I was so done. Well, kind of light at the end of the tunnel of the story was, it's kind of a mixed blessing, totally unfortunate circumstances and really awful scenario. Well, what happens is my mom knew that AAA or my insurance, whoever I had back then, had 2 free towings per year. I never thought about that. So little quick pro tip here. Most of you guys like commercial auto policy, maybe even your personal auto, comes with 2 free towings. Sometimes it's a radius, they'll tow you within 2 miles, 5 miles, 20 miles, whatever. And it's $60 after that for every, 10 miles or something like that. Well, I had 2 free tows. So I think just out of luck, my mom saw that in the policy, because back then things were going to her house. And she goes, no, you got 2 free tows. And she goes, hey, a tow's a tow. I go, you're right. So anyway, she calls up the insurance people for me because I'm done. Like, I'm not cutting grass anymore. I'm gonna go get some stupid job, go tuck my tail, go back to True Green or whatever. Well, what happens is long story short, about 30 days later, whatever it was, I get a refund check from my insurance company for like $371, whatever it was, because they refunded or reimbursed the tow for the whole debacle. How cool is that? So I was like, what up, no? I was so excited, so pumped. I probably took the money, went and bought new tires, to be honest with you. But it was a really, really horrible, rotten, no good, very bad day. And I'll tell you what, so many lessons that you can derive from that. But that was story number 1. That was just the most brutal of situations. I mean, literally, I got the mower stuck, I got the truck stuck, and then I got slapped with a $350 tow bill. When you're broke and you have nothing, that might as well be the guy asking for $35,000 because I just didn't have it. And so, any which way, we're going to keep down this road here, but I got a couple more fun stories. I might share all of them. I might share just 1 or 2. Hey, if you guys are enjoying this, shoot me a message on Instagram or leave me some comments, in the ratings reviews if you guys want to hear a part 2 or something like that. But let's do this. I'm going to grab a sip of water here. We're going to change it up here one more time from one of my companies, Launchpreneur Academy, and then we'll get right back into it, guys.
New program alert. The How to Get New Lawn Care Customers training program is now available. If you guys have ever struggled at acquiring new customers or are looking to grow your lawn care business, then this new program might just be for you. Looking to learn the best tactics to develop a successful postcard marketing campaign? We got you covered. Have you ever wondered how to use social media to exponentially grow your business and dominate the competition? We got that too. Whether you're just getting started in business or you're a seasoned vet, there's something for everyone in this new program available now, exclusively at LawnPreneurAcademy.com.
A lot of you guys have been picking up the How to Get New Customers training program. It is definitely one of my favorite training courses. I think there's 6 different courses inside there, or 6 different modules inside that course. We talk about door-to-door sales, postcard marketing, my Google business listing, Facebook, Instagram marketing, YouTube marketing. We talk about all ways, yard signs, postcards, a lot of good stuff in there. I think it's 6 different courses or 6 different modules inside the course, and each one's 20 to 30 minutes long. They're really, really good. It's $49. You get the courses, you get the MP3s, part of it as well. You get 1 new customer, Beyond pays for it, but it's all the tactics and strategies about how to get new customers, which Lord knows I needed a few more after I bottomed out my mower in the ditch and or the field and had to replace that HOA because that was a big account for me back then. So All right, let's keep it going. What I'm going to decide here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my worst lawn care story, and I'm also going to give you my worst snow plowing story. How about that? We'll just change it up here, and maybe we'll do a part 2 later on if you guys like this. Again, this is inspired by my friend Paul with his podcast, the Green Industry Podcast. So if you guys want to go check out Paul, he's got his summer tour coming on as well, which is going to be great. So many more episodes coming down the road for him. So let's talk about my worst plowing snow plow story. This one. For all my Midwest and Northeast people, if you're in the South, trust me, there'll be some lessons you can learn from here because I was a moron. So what happened is I had a friend that I was plowing snow all night. Dude, it was a long day. I just remember, I don't know if it was 12 hours, 18 hours, but it was one of those snow events where it got done with like 8 inches of snow. I had went out that night before. So I was out there literally like 24 hours straight plowing snow, which is never advisable. I know some of you guys are 19, you're a hoss, and let's go make that money, dude. I get it. I will tell you that you should probably keep your snow routes 12 hours or less, maybe 16 hours, but 10, 12 hours is plenty. My snow plow route is about 6 to 8 hours. And when we get, that's about a 4-inch snowstorm. So when we get 8 or 10, 12 inches, as you guys know, it's double, triple the time invested to do all of our snow plowing. What do I mean by snow plow route? Well, we go do 30, 40 residential driveways, a half dozen commercial lots. It's quite a bit of work, to be honest with you, for one plow truck. It takes a solid 6, 8, 10 hours to knock this all out. Well, back in the day, this was my first year plowing snow. I didn't know everything, but I had a couple snowstorms under my belt. And what happened is I'm literally plowing snow for, I swear, 24 hours straight. I was so beat, so exhausted. It was like a 8 or 10 inch snowstorm. It was an all day event. I remember plowing snow, getting the first 4 or 5 inch scrape, going home, taking a 3-hour nap, and then, maybe like an hour nap. And then I went right back out there. That wasn't a 3-hour nap. I know that. I went home, I crashed for like an hour cat nap, and then basically went right back to plowing snow because we had to keep up on it. It was like a big 8 to 10 inch dump snowstorm. So after 20 hours straight, basically, or minus my little break for a snack and a nap, I go back out there, I get done plowing, and my friend, he's going into work. It's 9 a.m. the next morning. And all the snow's cleared like around the whole city, the whole state. I mean, Michigan is one of those things where we get snow, but in 12, 24 hours, 36 hours max, everything's restored back to order. It's a lot of work. I think Metro Detroit, I heard, has like 4,000 contractors typically that are out and about plowing snow. And I believe it. I'd say there's probably a lot more than that, but it's a small army of people that you just see the orange lights, man. It's the most peaceful, quiet thing. Plowing snow at, 3 in the morning. You can't, there's nobody around other than plow trucks. When you're going down the road 55 miles an hour because you got this big truck and these big tires, you're just hustling to get to the next route. Red lights are optional. Stop signs are optional. I'm just kidding, sort of. And then because when you got plow trucks going down the road, you guys know, it's a plow truck because the lights are different. And it's just you. It's just you and this like secret little army of people that are just like, behind the scenes, like these little elves, just like putting the whole world back together from this 12-inch snowstorm that we got, or 10-inch snowstorm, right? And so what happened was my friend texts me, he goes, "Hey, my mom is trying to go to work. I knew where he lived." He goes, "Can you plow her out?" And I said, "Sure." I don't know why I said sure. I should have said no. But I said, "Yeah, dude, I got you." So he's about 15 minutes away. And I go to his house, and I think Liz was with me because we were doing a snow vlog, trying to capture like snow plowing footage. So she came with me on round 2. And so we've been in the truck for, 6 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours. I don't even know. It's 8, 9 in the morning. And so now we're starting to deal with the traffic, and it's still snowy out. It's still like drifts. Some streets are plowed. Some of the main roads are plowed. Some aren't. Well, I remember going about 15 minutes down the road. I go to my friend's house, my friend's parents' house, and basically he's got like a split level ranch, kind of a home, where if you drive up the main drive, you dead end, it's at the house. But if you go around back where the garage is actually underneath the side of the house, right? Like to the right-hand side. So they have another driveway where it loops around and it goes to the driveway and the garage, which is the back right side of the house, like it's under the house, their garage. So now this driveway, it kind of arcs around. It's like a circle. So it arcs around, it parks in the house. But if you keep going straight at where it bends, you go down and into a pole barn, right? Super simple. Like it looks like a Y. So the situation with this though And I knew this because I've been there. But where the pole barn is, the pole barn from the driveway is a solid like 10 foot, 12 foot drop in elevation. Like the pole barn is sat back, 15 feet down this driveway, but it's solidly like 15 feet down. I mean, it is a different level entirely. And so I go down there, I plow out the arch and I plow out the top part. Then I go, I plowed out the top part where the house is, and I go to plow out the driveway that would go to the garage. Well, I'm basically done. Things are good. I'm beat, exhausted. I mean, like bloodshot eyes, like you wouldn't imagine. I'm wearing contacts, doing the whole deal. And so I go to plow out the pole barn. Now, if you plow snow, you already know what I'm, going to describe here, because this is a big rook mistake. So I go to plow out the pole barn. Pole barn door is closed, obviously, the garage door. And so I stick the front nose of the truck down this, 15, 20 degree grade. And as I go to plow, back drag is what we call it, I got the plow elevated. So I'm, creeping forward. I know I'm going down this hill. I know this hill. And it's like a steep little grade here. Well, I dropped the plow. And as I drop the plow, I put the truck in reverse and I go to back up and I start backing up for about, 2.5 feet. Again, it's 8 to 10 inch snowstorm. So I drop the plow, right? And I go backwards. And after about 3 feet, the truck stops, just stops. And I go, what the hell is that? Well, your boy here is on a 15 or 20 degree grade or, decline. And now I have a 4 foot tall snow pile, slushy, big slush snow pile, 4 feet tall behind the blade of the plow. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck here, anchored in by a 4 foot pile of snow. And here's my predicament. And some of you guys know what I'm talking about. If I lift that blade, that's my anchor. Like the truck is going to go forward. I could go sideways. That blade is anchored. Now, I've only probably plowed 4 or 5 snowstorms. I haven't covered this one yet in the employee manual. You know what I'm saying? So, and Liz looks at me and she goes, what's happening? I go, dude, I'm stuck. And she goes, you're stuck. I go, I'm stuck. And she goes, well, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I love women when they're watching movies, you're watching like an action movie or a sci-fi movie and like you're watching the exact same movie and they look at you and they go, what's happening? What do you think is going to happen next? And I look at her, I go, I have the same amount of information you do. I have no idea. Like, what am I supposed to know these answers? So she looks at me and she goes, what do you do? And I go, I don't know. What do you do? Like, she goes, I don't know. You're the plow truck driver. I go, I'm a plow truck driver? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm in my brand new $58,000 truck that's 3 months old to me. I've got a new $7,500 plow that's, 6 weeks old to me. I have no earthly idea what I'm even doing. I have no idea what these buttons on the dash are doing. There's lights flickering. There's things going on. Things are chiming. I have no idea what's going on in this spaceship, okay? I'm running the Starship Enterprise here. And she's like, what do you do? What are you going to do? And I go, I don't know. I just need you to be quiet. Let's start there. And I love my wife, but you guys know what I'm saying? This is a real life story, man. So what do I do? Well, I don't know. So I'm like, well, let's start trying to figure things out. So I lift the blade up. And as I do, I lift the blade up enough to where I can just get it over the snow pile. But as I go to back up, I have no counterbalance, right? So, wow, and I'm in 4x4. And the tires just start spinning, like 2 in the back, 2 in the front. And what happens is the truck starts like cat crawling, like it starts turning sideways. It starts turning sideways, literally in slow motion. And what happens is, little detail here, the driveway going down to the pole barn is like, dude, for real, like a 15, 20, 25, I don't even know, degree grade. It's a steep grade. Well, the reason it's 20 feet, 10 feet down from the main driveway, well, along the ridge of the driveway is a drop off as well, right? So where I take the driveway, if you go 5 feet to the right, it's a 9 foot drop off and then it flattens out again. So I back up just enough to where the truck literally starts cat crawling sideways. And what happens is the whole back end of my truck, the whole back ass end goes right over the ridge. literally goes right over the hill, this ridge. I mean, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet down. My truck, I'm looking at the clouds. I'm looking at the sky. Liz and I are literally pinned back like we're in, the SpaceX, Dragon shuttle, looking up at the stars going, oh my, I mean, the noise, the engine, things are going crazy. The tires are spinning. I'm at a 40-degree angle, 30-degree angle. I swear to God, looking at the stars. And I go, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. And by the way, I have an 800-pound plow sticking, Lord knows, 6 feet up over the driveway. Right. I'm top heavy, I'm nose heavy, but the whole thing is pushing me backwards. I got this 800-pound plow that's like anchoring me on the back of the hill. And I will tell you guys, literally, and you don't have to believe this way, but Liz and I literally we looked at each other and we started praying in tongues. We were praying in the name of Jesus. I swear to God, we Lord Jesus, if you can give us wings, if we know you do miracles, if you wanted to just drop one on right now, like this would be cool. Like if you just want to just help us out. I was freaking out like crazy. I'm doing the front, back. I'm feeling like stuck like you wouldn't imagine. And only to make things worse, because this is how it happens. Only to make things worse. If it doesn't get worse, if this isn't bad enough, these new trucks, like all this technology and all this stupid stuff in them that, make them $58,000. Like whatever happened to old school, like 4x4 wide body Chevys, square body Chevys. So what happens is my back right bumper is literally like 6 inches away from a, 12-inch wide, 18-inch wide tree trunk. And all you hear is the reverse and the proximity sensor. I mean, dude, the whole time. Doesn't matter if I was in drive. You know what I'm saying? I was in drive or reverse. And it wouldn't turn off. And it's loud. It's coming through the speakers. Liz is looking at me. She goes, "Can you turn it off?" I'm like, I don't know how to turn it off. Like, and I got the dash is like got on these digital displays. It tells you like your degree and like the airplane thing, like your gyroscope. And it shows like the truck like off-roading. It's like, 21 degrees. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm in 4 high, right? Or whatever. Like the typical 4 high, just driving normal 4x4. And I'm doing the shimmy. I'm left, I'm right. I'm literally like one of those Instagram videos where you watch these like wicked Jeeps go up like, straight up, mountain walls, and they're just spinning the tires on the sand and they can just crawl through anything. It's incredible. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm so stuck. I'm so screwed. And I'm literally looking at the clouds and I'm freaking out. So what do? I have no idea. And so I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. And I go, all right, well, there's a 4H. And I've heard 4 low is if you get stuck, like stuck. And some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You've used 4 low. It's not advisable. I don't know what it even does. I think it's just low gears, lots of torque, lots of, muscle going to the wheels, right? And I've only used it once. So I throw it into 4 low and the truck transforms into the freaking Batman tumbler. Okay, like the one in the DC movies where it's like climbing up the silo and it's like climbing up the wall. It's like, I didn't know it can do that. Yeah, that's what the truck does. But it wasn't without the most jerky, jolty, and it was still a struggle. It was still a crazy, crazy struggle. I mean, I've never been thrashed around by anything that much in my entire life. I mean, like I rode the worst, the best, and the worst, like the most wicked roller coasters at Cedar Point and all these different places. Get out of here. This was the craziest thing I've ever been in my entire life. Like we were getting thrashed like you wouldn't believe, left to right. And Liz is like, oh my God. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. I'm just, gassing it 4 low. And dude, we barely, by the skin of our teeth, climbed up that hill. Like I'm cocking the wheel sideways, doing the whole deal, left, right. And we finally kind of get out of there. We finally get over the ridge. And what happened was once the plow was just over like the ridge that I was over, and I got it like front heavy, it kind of like almost ballasted, ballast on the truck. It brought it over on the driveway because it's 800 pounds hanging 5 feet off the front end of your truck, right? And so once I like got the front axle over the ridge, the whole rest of the truck like kind of scooped right up and put a bunch of weight on those front tires. And holy freaking cow is all I can say. It was the craziest story I've ever had with plowing snow. And I call my friend. I go, hey, I call him up and I say, hey, got a bone to pick with you. And he goes, what's up? I go, yeah, dude, just got done trying to plow your pole barn out. And he goes, oh, yeah. Oh, you went for the pole barn? I go, yeah. He goes, dude, I should have told you, don't try to plow by the pole barn. You're going to get stuck. I go, you don't say. You don't frickin' say. And I was mad. I was like, dude, I just literally pulled a 4-foot snow pile. I've turned sideways. I fell off the ridge of your side of your thing. He goes, oh my God, dude. Yeah. Boop, 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 for like 12 minutes straight. And he goes, oh my God, dude, are you for real? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, dude, that's crazy. Do you want money? Like, you want like $50 to plow the driveway? I go, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you when I see you in real life. That's what I'm going to do to you. You're going to buy me food for the rest of the next year. And so I forgave him. It wasn't really a thing, that I had to forgive him for anyway, but it was the most brutal rookie mistake is don't get front heavy on the plow when you guys are back dragging. So a lot of you guys that do loading docks, you know what I'm talking about. That's where you see a lot of these back blade plows come into the industry now, is because when you're pulling these loading docks backwards, well, you get these 5, 10, 15 degree grade loading docks where the semi-trailers are backing into. Well, you got, 3 inches of snow, no big deal. You get 8, 10 inches of snow and you try to back drag that. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. That ain't happening at all. So that's where a lot of these back drag blades come in and they, plow forward by, having the snow plow on the rear. So that was the craziest snow that I've ever done. I was so beat, so exhausted. I swear to God, I probably slept for the next day. I mean, I was like, my adrenals were toast. My eyes were toast. My attitude was toast. I was so frustrated. I mean, the only thing that was the saving grace is we probably made like $2,500 that night plowing snow. You know what I'm saying? If not more, because it was like an 8-inch snowstorm, which is the top tier for our snow contracts. Anyway, that was one of the craziest events ever. My friend later tells me, he goes, yeah, dude. He goes, nobody ever plows that part. He goes, and in fact, we've had people try and they all get stuck. And I was like, little detail, bro. But anyway, so that's my craziest story about cutting grass. Just getting my mower stuck in the middle of like a 4-foot acred, concaved, sloshing wet mud. Just the gnarliest stuff ever. Getting the mower stuck, getting the truck stuck, and then having the wrecker charge me $1 per foot on that cable. And I was broke, guys. I mean, I was so broke, it wasn't even funny. That year, in fact, is when I really got my business more serious because I was like, I need to never be in this position ever again. A couple years later, we jump on YouTube and, we really started growing that thing pretty quickly from there forward. But that was one of the catalysts too, because I had promised the world to Liz and here I am. We have $100 in our checking account and she's like, doing the whole, hey, if I go to the grocery store today, is it going to get declined? Like, you guys hear stories like that. Like, dude, we were there just 6 years ago. Like, and we haven't arrived, but if you've been there, I feel you, man. Like it sucks. But don't let it break you. I heard somebody say, like, I'm not going to die on this hill. Like, I'm not going out that way. I'm going to persevere. We're going to move on. The snow plowing thing, I'll tell you what, that was some good marriage counseling, because Liz and I, we got to know each other really well that day. We was yelling and screaming. Then we came together. We're in unity. We're praying to Jesus. I'm like, Lord, give me wings. Holy Spirit, could you just lift the back end of the truck out, or at least put your hands pushing down in the front of the plow so I can level out. The boop 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 boop. Man, if I could ever do a technology delete on a truck, I would never get a rear bumper sensor. Ever again, proximity sensor, ever again. Oh gosh, it was so brutal. But you know what? Thank God the truck wasn't damaged, because I thought I was going to smoke the whole back corner, to be honest with you. I thought I was going to plow into the tree, have, a $500 deductible, $1,000 deductible, smash the whole back end. Look at Brian's Law Maintenance, just got this new truck. Like, I was waiting for that video to come out, because that was real life. And, man, I've learned since then. I don't do loading docks, and I also don't do pole barns that are 12 feet deep with 9-foot, drop offs at friends' houses. So, all right, well, that's it, guys. Those are my two funny stories. I don't know how I was able to stretch this out to 55 minutes. You guys know I love to talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and it was just a little lighthearted conversation this week as we finish up the week going strong. But hey, super appreciate you guys listening. Of course, thanks so much for all of you guys that hit that 5 stars, hit the little tap on iTunes. I don't think you can really leave ratings and reviews on all the other platforms like Google, Stitcher, and all that mess. But we do appreciate the love and you guys sharing and posting them up on Instagram. I love to repost when you guys do. Of course, thanks again to the reviews that came in this week. We have 5 or 6 that came in. Guys, I know it takes a quick minute to do, but in all sincerity, it really does help the podcast with it getting surfaced and social proof and letting other guys know that it's worth their time to check out the podcast. We have like 72, 73 episodes now. So we're just kind of all steam engine forward, man, just making this thing happen. And hopefully you guys enjoy the content. And, it just kind of breaks it up, music, podcast, music, just gives you guys something fun to listen to while you guys are out there slaying the business, cutting that grass and making that cash. Isn't that what Paul Jamison says? How about plowing snow and making that dough? Amen. So the white gold. All right, guys, check out the 2 new training programs again at launchpreneuracademy.com, and promo code podcast does save you 10% on all training programs. And stay tuned regularly because we have a lot more coming down the pike for launchpreneuracademy.com. All right, guys, that's it. Over and out. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Appreciate you guys big time. Have a safe weekend, and we'll catch up with you guys next week on the show.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.